Hey everyone, this is a photography video here. It's a photography accessory video. So I think this one is probably useful to anyone who really uses a camera or video camera. It's not specific to maybe the high-end photography that I've been doing, or you don't have to have expensive gear to use this particular device. So what is this? This is a flexible tripod that you can use with cameras and video cameras, and it has just a normal screw on bottom, and it has rubberized pads at the bottom of the tripod, and all the legs are completely flexible. Okay. And so you can basically adjust the dimensions of the tripod. You can wrap them around trees and logs, and each of these circle parts of the tripod leg are rubberized, so that it has gripping ability to different surfaces, so it won't slip and fall down. So what's the name of this particular device that I probably should have said in the first place? It's made by Joby. It's called a Gorillapod, and this specific version is the digital SLR version. Why is that important? Well, it is important because you want to buy the version. There's about 3 to maybe 4 versions of this Gorillapod, and you want to make sure you're buying the right one for your camera. And it's not as hard as it sounds, but the weight of your camera and the lens, and if you use a flash, matters to the size of the tripod that you buy, obviously. So if you're using a digital SLR, so basically a digital camera where you can replace the lens easily and use different lenses, larger sized camera, not really the point and shoot pocket cameras. This is the minimum one that you need. You can go on the website and look up the stats and all those things, weight tolerances and size and all that, but they make one version above this that is probably a 1/4 to a 1/2 size longer and heavier than this one. This one, at least on the box, it claims it'll hold, again, the digital SLR. I have a 5D Mark II, and I have probably one of the heaviest lenses out there, the Canon 70 to 200 2.8 ISL lens. That one, the box says it'll support it. I think it will support it in a standing, firm position like this. You get into that gray zone if you wrap it around a log or anything like that, and you just kind of hanging there. I don't know, it's tried out, but I wouldn't go too far and be able to catch the whole camera if you can. But at least the box says that. For that setup, I haven't tried that yet. But I have used this on my 100mm macro lens and the 24 to 105 L lens that I have. So, and it's worked fine. You just want to make sure you test it, push it a little bit, make sure it's stable. I have wrapped it around trees. In some of my knife hiking videos, this is what I've used. So, why was I interested in this? I have a better, more professional, functional tripod. So what's the point of this? Well, if you look at the size, right? I mean, my arm here, I'm a tall dude. I've got kind of monkey arms, so it's really not that big. It's just my forearm here, barely that. And you can fit it in a backpack pretty easily, even a smaller backpack, and it obviously scrunches down. You can fold it different ways. And so that's why I got it. I didn't want to drag around my big metal tripod that's 3 feet and weighs a ton on a hiking trip. There's no way that goes in a backpack. This does. You can stick it in different spots. Obviously, I've used this on the beach. I've used it on normal hiking trails on trees. Just stood it up like this on logs. and it's worked great. I think it was about $35–40, so it's not that much. If you're getting into digital photography and you don't really have any tripods or anything like that, I would actually start with one of these, because it is stable, it's easy to use, not that expensive. Especially, let me caveat that, especially if you're mobile and you're doing a lot of photography outdoors and you want a tripod, start with something like this. Avoid the Best Buy junky tripods and Target and anywhere else. Just if you want something on the low end range to start with, get one of these rather than one of the junky tripods out there. I would say if you're a point and shoot user where your cameras are probably around this big or smaller and they look like a 10 to 20 credit cards stacked together, this would work fine. It's size-wise, it's a little overkill. This one's not that much. You could use those small size cameras on this one. You might think about if you're going to upgrade your camera, maybe go with this. You could be fine. Again, you can get the smaller ones, of course. So, high recommendation on this device. The one downside that I have to it, there's always a downside with me. I want to at least tell you what I'm thinking on everything I buy. So I have an upper end camera, and I do have a nice real tripod, which maybe I'll do a review on later. But so on my camera, I have a quick release mounting system on the tripod. It's basically always on my camera now, and you can place it on the tripod, you can lock it in twice, and then it's stable, and when you're done, you can just pull it off. This thing, it didn't come with any quick release device or anything like that. I think I have a similar one to from an old junky tripod that I had that I could use. But so what am I saying? The downside is that you can screw this directly to your camera, but it is real difficult to get off or adjusted. If you're trying to get this thing off, and especially if you have a camera neck strap, that the legs can be kind of in different spots. You want to push them together, and it's somewhat angled here when you push it together. You can do your best to straighten it out, but that screw mechanism, it's going to be kind of wobbly, off-sided. You have to kind of press into the camera and then turn to get it off, and then it kind of gets tangled up in the neck strap, and it's just real slow and a pain in the butt to get off. So that's the only downside. I would say that if you're going on a hike, put this on your camera right away. Put your camera and the tripod in a backpack that can carry both with this attached, and just keep it on, right? And you may look like a doofus or something walking around with the neck strap on with the tripod, attached to you, but it's going to save you some time and some frustration. I've done that before, where I have the neck strap on, this attached to the camera, and I just kind of swing it behind my back like this, so I'm not walking around with a tool like this, so personal preference, I guess. Maybe people have different views on things, but kind of swing it towards your back. It's an easier thing to do. So that's that. Again, it's the Joby Gorillapod digital SLR version. You can get these off of Amazon, REI, other spots on the internet, and even some places locally, depending on where you are. Thanks.